What's going on, everybody? My name is Lain Tomlinson, and this is my new series, This Week in Country Music History. Like I said, my name is Lain Tomlinson. I am a country music enthusiast. I've been listening to country music my whole entire life, and I just want to talk about some of the interesting stories, and that's why I started this series, This Week in Country Music History. Every week, we're going to go over some of the big events that happened. Now, we can't cover everything because Lord knows that would take forever, but we're going to try to cover 2 or 3 stories every week just so you can get a snippet of how interesting and how crazy country music history really is. For this week, we're going to be looking at the dates January 1st through January 9th. Let's get started. One of the first events that we're going to be talking about today was also one of the biggest tragedies in country music history, and that is the death of Hank Williams Sr. On January 1st, 1953, Hank Williams Sr. died while traveling on his way to shows up north from Montgomery, Alabama. He was originally scheduled to perform in West Virginia, but they got behind. Some reports say that there was an ice storm. Others say that they just weren't driving quickly enough or they didn't leave quickly enough. And so they spent the night, canceled the show in West Virginia, and instead were going to go to Canton, Ohio to do a performance on New Year's Day. The person that was driving the car was a college freshman, a student of Auburn University named Charles Carr. He was a family friend of Hank Williams and agreed to drive him because Hank Williams couldn't make the drive alone. He was suffering from back problems, and he also had the addiction problems that had caused him to be removed from the Grand Ole Opry months earlier. This trip and these concerts were meant to be a comeback for Hank Williams Sr. Unfortunately, that time never happened. The last time that Charles Carr spoke to Hank Williams Sr. was at a restaurant in Bristol, Virginia. After leaving the restaurant, Carr drove all the way up to Oak Hill, West Virginia, where he stopped to get gas at a station. He realized that Mr. Williams was unresponsive and notified the gas station owner, who called the police. They realized he was dead, and they did take him to a area hospital. This was a huge tragedy in country music history because Hank Williams had changed how country music was seen by so many people. To give you an idea of his impact, at his funeral on January 4th for the public viewing, between 15,000 and 25,000 people attended the viewing. Record stores sold out of all of Hank Williams' records, and the song that he released after his death, Your Cheatin' Heart, stayed at number 1 on the charts for 6 weeks. If you're interested in learning more about Hank Williams, you can go down to the Hank Williams Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, where you can actually see the Cadillac that Hank Williams Sr. was riding in when he passed away. The next thing that we're going to talk about is a song that's called There Goes My Everything, which was written by Dallas Frazier, but was later covered by Jack Green. The significance of this song is that it won Single of the Year and Song of the Year at the very first CMA Awards in 1967. How crazy is that? It was recorded this week in 1966 by Jack Green and released. On top of that, the album that was also titled There Goes My Everything won Album of the Year at the first CMA Awards too. The last story that we're going to talk about involves country music artist Lain and Trisha Yearwood. On January 6, 1998, they were both nominated in the same category for the same song, How Do I Live? This was the first time in Grammy history that this had ever happened. After both of these songs were released in 1997, radio stations would often put them up against one another back to back and make listeners call in to see which version they liked better. At the 1998 Grammys, Lain performed the song right before the category came up, but Trisha Yearwood ended up taking the award home. But it's okay, because if you look at Billboard top songs of all time, Lain version of How Do I Live is ranked number 5. All right, that's it for this week in country music history. What's your favorite memory from this week in country music? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next week for another round.